Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is IFBB Pro Craig Richardson. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Craig, you've had a really interesting career, a very long career. You're 42 now, but you started, I know, in your teens. You won the teen nationals back at 18 years of age, or 19 years of age. I don't know what you were, but and then you had a successful career. You made it to a pro stage. You went to the Olympia and the Open. Now you kind of had a reinvigorated career in the 212 division, where you've been placing, top 5 or better in almost every show you compete at. This past, I guess you could say a couple months ago, back at the Charlotte Pro, and one of the most competitive 212s we've seen all year, you placed second behind Milan Sadek. You beat Nicholas Vuliad, the young kid from Switzerland, and you're looking better than I've ever seen you. What do you attribute this renewed vigor in your career to?
I didn't realize that when you get a little older sometimes, you have to change some things up a little bit. So as age started to creep up on me, I would still diet, my normal 8 to 10 weeks thinking it would be enough. And I would still do, my 30 minutes of cardio a day thinking that would be enough. Not realizing that I don't tighten up as easily in certain areas. So, I had to stretch the diet out a little longer, double sessions of cardio, and it all seems to be working out. I'm working with Chris Cisternino now, as you know, and he's awesome. But he's on top of me all the way. I'm learning a lot of new things from him. And, I think actually the best is yet to come.
Now, Craig, you and I have worked together before in the past, and Chris Cisternino, obviously, and I are very tight friends, and we talk, and we both came up with the same analogy with regard to you. Number one, you don't train that hard in the off season, and number two, when you start your contest prep, you look like you can't win Mr. Long Island, and then your body transforms almost a la Kevin Levrone into some incredible new physique that we've never seen before, and you go from 1 week where you're nothing to another week where you're like incredible. What's with that? What's with the fact that you don't have like a lot of consistency in the off season, but you tend to get better when you start contest dieting?
Well, part of it, actually, my actual training sessions are really good in the off season. The problem is I eat too much, Dave. That. Even when I'm eating clean, I'll gorge myself with large amounts of food. 2 cups of rice and 12 ounces of potatoes, and next thing you know, I start storing fat. And then all of a sudden, you don't realize that you're storing it till you're already 20 pounds overweight, and then you look back and go, "Oh man, I got to get this stuff off now." So I think that's what happens, and I have to watch it a little bit more in the off season, where I'm going to have to keep my carbs a little lower, keep my protein moderate, so that way I don't put on that body fat in the off season.
You've been saying that for 15 years. You've been giving me the same response to that question.
I know, man. I know. It's hard, man, because I'll eat and eat and eat. And I mean, like I said, even when it's clean food, I'll just eat a big amount of it, man.
Yeah. How old are your kids now?
Oh, geez, 26. She'll be 26 next month.
Oh, my gosh.
24, 17. I have one. They all graduated from the high school where I work, and my youngest is a senior now.
Wow. How does that bode for them? Daddy's at work. Like, you really can't get away. You can't do whatever you want at school when daddy's in charge of, security there, essentially,
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's so funny because all the teachers, if anything ever happens, they always have access to me, where they'll call my office or they'll shoot me an email. I've gone to my kids' classrooms and pulled them out. I'm right there. So, and it's so funny because my kids, by me being the attendance officer, their attendance is always perfect, and they're never late for any classes because, I'm a stickler to everyone else, so I definitely have to be on top of them. twice as much.
Yeah. I always see you as like a kind of a very laid back, lax guy. What kind of a dad are you? Are you like strict?
No, mom is the enforcer.
Oh,
Man.
okay.
Jesus Christ. She's like yelling and screaming, and I'm usually the one that they come running to help get him out of jams before it gets too bad, or, but I always tell them, listen, I'm going to help you get out of this. And then afterwards, I explain to them, obviously, what they did wrong and how to avoid it the next time.
Yeah.
And then we have to tell your mom.
Your son is pretty tall, huh? Taller than you.
Oh, yeah, man. They're all taller than me, except for my 17-year-old. She's only 5'5". She takes after me, my sister. But everybody else, their uncles and everybody else, they're over 6 feet. So they're taking after them. Even my oldest daughter's 5'8". So
you got cheated on the gene pool for height, not for physique. That's for sure. Do they have good physiques like you do? Are they athletic?
My youngest daughter and my son have very athletic builds, but they're lazy. They're lazier than me in the off season. So
they watch you. They're watching you.
Body actually.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, you were second at Charlotte this year, which I don't think a lot of people thought it was going to be as competitive as it was. It was one of the best 212s I've seen, maybe in the history of 212. It was, the top three was very tight. You and Milan Sadek right there, 1 and 2. Obviously, Nicholas Vuliad could have been right in that running too. He had a little problem with that one shoulder that was a little deformed looking there, and I think the judges marked him down for that. I thought you were going to take home the win on that one. I thought you had everything that you needed to do to win. Obviously, Sadek, another tremendous 212 guy coming out of Europe. What was your take on the show? Were you upset with that loss?
Dave, we've known each other for a while, and I never really get upset. I try to figure out what could I've done better to make myself better on stage and to try to fix it for the next show. Chris and I knew that I wasn't going to be completely 100% for the show, but we knew I'd be good enough to get me there. Actually, I'm going to be much better in New York. So that's the one I was really gearing up for. North Carolina just happened to be a show a few weeks before. I kind of said, hey, you know what, let's just give it a shot.
Yeah.
So, New York is actually the show that I was gearing up for to be 100%. Those guys gave the best they can give that day. So they're not going to be any better, on the 20th. But I will be.
Right. Well, Vuliad will not be in the lineup. He's getting some surgery on that shoulder, he told us on a show. Obviously, Sadek will be there. Guy Cisternino will be there, I know, trying to defend his title that he's won the last 2 years. Can you beat Cisternino?
Yeah, I can beat Cisternino, man.
Another Jersey guy.
Listen, I love Guy, man. But it's like every time I compete against him, I get like the short end of the stick somehow, some way. But this time I'm going to be ready. All Guns are blazing.
All right. Can you take out Sadek? Do you think you're going to be better than him at this show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Believe me, if people think that, you see my best in North Carolina, believe me, I'm going to be much better in New York.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to, I'm a big Craig Richardson supporter. I actually told Craig, I think it was it had been maybe 2 or 3 years after he won the Teen Nationals. We saw each other at the show, and he came to shake my hand or something like that. And I don't know if you remember this. And I said, man, you got a great physique, great future. And you're like, man, I'm shit compared to you, or something. You said something to that degree, man, don't tell me that. I look up to you, and I thought that was a very humble statement on your part. But then we became friends, obviously, after that, and we've seen each other a million times since then, and talked and worked together. So it's amazing how you meet people and you stay kind of friends with them throughout their careers. And obviously, I'm not competing anymore, but you still are. How much longer do you think you're going to continue to get up on stage and try to compete against these young guys?
I think I might have another 2 or 3 years left in me, Dave.
All right, that's
and
good.
Then, But let me just respond to when I first met you. When I first met Dave, he was walking around with the tank top on and these little shorts, and he looked like he was 2 weeks out, but there wasn't a show in sight that he was getting ready for. And I can remember just saying, wow, how big is this guy? And when you came up, when we met for the first time, I'm saying to myself, if I could only put on size like this, you were a monster to me.
Yeah, and I was saying to myself, if I only had this guy's genetic structure, I'd be Mr. Olympia, man. The combination of my size, conditioning, and your shape would have been brutally tough to contend with.
But God wants us everything, Dave.
Yeah, only Ronnie Coleman got everything. I don't know why, but he got everything. Craig, great talking to you. Good luck this weekend. We will be there cheering you on, and hopefully I'll be interviewing you in that winner's circle. Best of luck with the last couple of days.
Thank you very much. And like always, Dave, it's been a pleasure. You've always been a gentleman, and keep doing the good work that you're doing promoting bodybuilding, man.
Thank you so much. And that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.